Greetings and salutations, fellow pioneers, and welcome to this complete playthrough at Satisfactory 1.1. Here assisting me on this journey is my lovely assistant Ada. Ada, why don't you introduce yourself?
Attention, Pioneer. I am Ada, your personal instance of the artificial directory and assistant.
And Ada, why are we here, and what's our purpose?
Welcome to the Fix-It Incorporated Save the Day program. A Fix-It Pioneer has 3 core assignments. Construct. All pioneers must follow Fix-It guidelines and instructions when constructing any building. Automate. Every pioneer is responsible for setting up and managing efficient pipelines, outposts, and power infrastructure. Explore and exploit. Fix-It selected planets are rich with resources suitable for direct use or further investigation. Fix-It. Short-term solutions to long-term problems.
Thank you very much. Alright, so now that we're safely down, let's go ahead and find a starting location for our initial setup. Looks like a good spot. We got a lovely beach on one side, and on the other side we got greenery, trees, grass. We got a nice one-bedroom apartment with functional toilet, and even a power supply, and all for 20 iron ore. So if you're struggling to find a place, here's your solution. Get blasted in space by Fix-It, narrowly survive landing on an alien planet, and Fix-It will provide. So as it turns out, the power system supplied by Fix-It must have been assembled by a 5-year-old. It was shorting and non-functional. So instead I'm going to build my own little power station here, using the abundant natural resources of plant matter to go ahead and power up my setup. So I'm just placing a few here. I've not yet gone ahead and unlocked the basic building blocks. So we're going to do a little temporary setup, and then we'll improve on this later. So what I want to do, as you can see here, is drop the plant matter into a constructor, or even let's go and drop it in a storage container, so that storage container doesn't get too wet. Feed it into the constructor to go ahead and turn it into biomass. Feed it into another storage unit, and then we'll feed it over to, see what I mean? Shoddy wiring. Absolutely nothing to do with Pioneer error there. But this is why I don't like these. You can't go ahead and feed the biomass in. You have to manually place it. I'm not interested in that. Alright, let's get a bit of biomass making, and then we should be able to feed it into the constructor, and from there we should have power! And with power comes great responsibility. Or in my case, air conditioning. Air conditioning is kind of needed in the Doom Desert. It's hot here. Alright, let's put this biomass in so we can make some biofuel. Let the constructor get on with that, and in the meantime I need to unlock logistics so that I can get the splitters needed for the power stations. This is my very temporary little setup, just so that I can start getting basic material without sitting and manually crafting. So let's go collect what we've got, and we should be able to unlock logistics very soon. I think I've got everything to unlock logistics. Almost. Make a few things manually quickly. Alright, here we go.
Milestone reached. Conveyor belts can now merge, split, and lift to save space and enhance the productivity of your factory. Fix-It encourages you to consider investing in verticality when it comes to factory logistics. If you feel stressed by this complexity, imagine yourself on the shore of a vast and calm ocean. Breathe in. Visualize all the people relying on you. The sea is made of billions of faces, each staring at you with hope and tears in their eyes. Breathe out. Feel refreshed and focused on your duties.
I'm zen. I'm at peace. I am going to lose it if this power grid goes down again. What's wrong this time? Alright, let's put something in there. Let's start it up. Let's get sort my power grid out so I can stop using this 5-year-old decrepit circuit. Okay, cool. I got the splitter, I got the merger. Let's get what we need for this. Extra cable. Alright. So we still do not have the base building, so I'm going to try to line this up as best I can. Put that going into the floor then. Up. 2 there. Get these 2 as well. I think I'm going to ultimately need like 12 of these. But 4 at least should get me going. Almost. Line it up. There we go. Those 2 up. Leave a connection for the expansion. And of course, that cable again. Always seem to be that one, just the one that I'm missing. Should do it. Yep. Then you've got the biofuel coming from the constructor. Some more in here. Alright, so that should power. I've got rid of the 5-year-old circuit. And now we really do need to get that base building going. Alright. Okay, we're about to launch base building, and while you listen to Ada tell you all about it, I'm going to go work on concrete.
Milestone reached. Several new structures are now available for improving factory organization. Foundations provide a building grid, which makes it easier to manage placement of any structure. In the event that you are experiencing amnesia for all events prior to planetfall, be reassured that memories of beloved humans and/or animals would have only been distractions from your important mission.
Hey Ada, I got 5 kids to feed. I wish I could forget about that. Alright, so I've gone ahead, got the materials, and I'm going to go and set up my concrete factory. I always invariably run out of concrete, so I like to get this done early. And looking at the location of this limestone node, doesn't make sense to go and incorporate it into what's going to be my main temporary factory, which we'll work on after this. So go ahead and we're going to use 3 constructors. Let's see if I can do this without blowing my power grid again. Perfect. So we'll put 3 constructors here. We'll feed the limestone separately from splitters into the 3 constructors. This is not the tidiest setup, but for a temporary setup it'll do. Waiting for that power grid to blow. Alright, so those 3 will go ahead and make the concrete I need. I'm going to feed it into a storage chest, or I will once I go ahead and get a little bit more iron plates. So I run around trying to pick up more biomass material. There we go. Iron plates run there. Put that in. Merge the 3 here. This time we'll keep the storage unit out of the water, because we all know what happens with concrete and water. Yeah, it makes a mess of driveways. You know what I'm on about? Let's say something in the comments. Alright, so the concrete will feed into there, and that will be a steady supply. At some point, I've got quite a bit of limestone on here actually, haven't I? So let's drop it in. There we go. At some point, after I drop this off, I'll probably end up putting something in to speed that up. We're going to be using tier 1 belts. We're going to skip tier 2 and go to tier 3 a little later, so it's going to be slow to begin with. Okay, It's going to be slow to begin with, but it will at least go ahead and enable me to have a steady supply of concrete. I left the limestone in that storage chest because I don't want to carry it around. Next project, I think we start building the main temporary factory. Let's get this started. Okay, so we've got the main temporary factory started. I've got 3 smelters here on the left, straight in front of you, that are devoted to copper ore and hooked up to minor ones. And then I've got these 4. I need to get myself a little bit more cable here. Just there. Alright, drop this in while I'm here. Alright, so I've got these 4 smelters that are devoted to iron ore, and these 2 on the left are going to ultimately feed my iron plate setup. I know I'm going to need more than that compared to the rods and screws, which will be the other 2. Again, try and get rid of some of this ore, give myself a head start. I'm going to go connect up to this minor one that is just over the horizon over there, and we'll be back in a minute to show you some more progress. Okay, I've left the smelter smelting ore, and I'm coming over to a crash site to try and not only grab a hard drive but disassemble some of the crash site items. This is great for early game because it gives me rotors and... oh, beastie! It's a big beastie! No, we don't want to fight him. Let's go. Run away! Where's the way up here? There it is. So as I was saying before, beastie interrupted me. Disassembling the crash spaceship parts early on will give you rotors, reinforced iron plates, gives you a big boost as you go ahead and build your initial factory out. Not only that, but it usually will give you pretty much all the items you need for the first spaceship part. You just need to build them in an assembler. There's quite a few nice things we picked up. Grab the hard drive. I want to try and get the screw recipe, which we'll look for in MAM. You see, we picked up rotors. There's some reinforced iron plates. If I can jump up, come on. I think that's everything here. Right, so I'm going to go and drop down the edge here to try and avoid Big Beastie if possible. There we go. Not quite ready to start playing with Big Beasties yet. Alright, let's take this back and let's get this in the MAM. And here's the final setup. So, to begin with, I expanded my biomass burners to 10 to power everything. I've left the concrete factory alone. You saw that before. It's still producing concrete at a nice pace. And then I went ahead and I built 3 constructors for all of the major items. Let's get over here and you can see what's going on. So you saw the smelters earlier. To start with, the 3 smelters here that are feeding copper. Each smelter is feeding 3 constructors. I have 3 constructors making copper sheets, 3 making copper wire, and 3 making copper wire over there that is becoming cable. That is all coming from 1 minor 1. I switched out the setup of the iron ore, so these 2 iron ore are now producing my screws over there and my iron rods over there, and then these 2 are entirely devoted to the plates, the iron plates, and all of that feeds around in a circle and feeds down the line through various combiners into the 6 extra storage units. And then I moved the hub so that everything stayed consistent and nice. So now that I've got that going, the next thing to go ahead and do is to finish my hub upgrades and to go ahead and start on the space elevator. Right, and here it is. I've used all of those constructors to generate the materials for the space elevator, and let me tell you, far more expensive than the 20 ore that it cost to build the hub. It's also quite bigger, so I guess that is somewhat correct. Oh wow, I managed to build something in space as well. Alright, I guess the resources make sense then. So if one person can do this on a planet, why can't we build a space elevator on Earth with God knows how many billions of people? Very cool. Alright, they are built. Now what do I do?
Project assembly initialized. Congratulations, Pioneer. The space elevator will now automatically connect with the Project Assembly orbital platform. Project assembly is divided into phases, each of which require the delivery of project parts, such as smart plating, via the space elevator. Subsequent phases unlock access to new tiers with more advanced technologies to construct, automate, explore and exploit. It is time to be honest. This project is part of the Save the Day program, the largest united undertaking in human history, destined to save us all. Earth is in peril and only Fix-It pioneers offer hope for survival. Fix-It is counting on you. Humanity is counting on you. Do not let Fix-It down.
Oh, I can't take the pressure. I'm sweating inside of my suit. It's too much responsibility. I got 5 kids to feed. I didn't come here to save the world, I came here to make some money. Okay, so let's get the assembler going so that we can get that project part making. It's not something I can do with our hand. And we've got the pieces that we got from that salvaged crash site earlier. So that at least will start it. I'm going to need some more pieces. Look and see whether we got that screws recipe from the hard drive. Service says
Hard drive analysis completed. Alternative recipe selection available in the MAM.
Nope, not there. Rescan. Okay, I'm gonna have to go get another hard drive and try again. Alright, I've worked out I'm not gonna have quite enough rotors or reinforced plates to go ahead and make this part, so I'm going to build an ugly spaghettified monstrosity short term so that I can go ahead and, well, build the rest of the parts. Throw up my storage unit here, and it is going to be ugly and a monstrosity, but it's temporary and it will do until I can get the main factory build going. Let's see if I can actually connect up. There we go. So I'll link 3 other areas here. That will produce the additional plates that I need. At least I can try and keep it from all at least I can stop it from clipping, and then that should produce what I need. So let me get this done, and then I'll go get another hard drive, and hopefully we can get the screws recipe, and by the time all that's done, we'll be ready to go ahead and launch this thing. Alright, I got myself another hard drive. I want this alternate cast iron screws recipe. If I can get that, it saves me having to use rods to build screws. It's a huge upgrade at this point. Survey says. There she is. Perfect. Fantastic. Makes things a lot easier. We are there. We've got all the parts. Let's go ahead, seal up, and send.
Welcome to the Project Assembly Pioneer Progress presentation. Congratulations, the Phase 1 project part shipment is now ready for delivery. On delivery, Phase 1 will be completed and the distribution platform will be constructed. After completion of Phase 1, the technologies of Tiers 3 and 4 will become available in the hub. Highlights are automated power, steel production, personnel transportation, and many more. Completing Phase 2 of project assembly is your next main objective. New project parts will need to be produced and delivered to the space elevator as you have done previously. Continue to construct, automate, explore and exploit for a better Fix-It future.
I love watching the space elevator go. I wonder if you can actually get on that platform. We're going to try that when we get jetpacks.
Phase 1 of project assembly completed. This is only the beginning of project assembly, the first step towards saving the day. You have performed adequately so far. Reminder: not only is Fix-It saving humanity, it is saving all of Earth, including kittens and puppies. It is statistically likely that you appreciate the continued existence of kittens and/or puppies. Continue the work for their sake. Continue the work for Fix-It. It is time to start the work on Phase 2 of project assembly.
We're going to go ahead and end it here. Part 2 will be very, very soon, and this time I won't delete the save like I did last one, but I'm going to leave you with this question, guys and girls. Kittens or puppies? If you had to save one, which one would it be? Answers in the comments, please. And guys, it means a lot to me if you can go ahead and chuck me a subscribe if you like the video and you want to be alerted to the next goodness knows how many versions, depending on how many power cuts I go through. Alright, I'm going to leave it here. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Rev signing off. Be back with part 2 real soon.